Day. I don't know if you have, but she has incredible insight and stories. And listen, I, I write in the book, which I feel like I'm promoting the book, but I'm not. It's been out for like 2 years.
You can
But
promote it.
but I write like, I the reason I love Barbara still is because, I think I caught her on a bad day or something. And so what was monumental to me was like a Wednesday. And I was like in her way to her. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't important. But she also taught me like, even on like nothing can throw me on live TV now because it's like, Barbara Walters came at me on live TV, but I'm good. I survived it. We were fine. I
It's
got
like
this.
it's like you said, and everything leads to something else.
Totally.
What was it like being on Howard Stern? Just because
So good. Howard is the best of the best of the best. And I've loved Howard for 25 years, maybe 30 years now. And I remember the first time I've been on 3 times. And the first time they walk you in like, all right, here you go. Here's the green room. To them, it's another day, here's the. But for me, I was walking and staring, and like Fred walked by me, and I was like, "What the?" And there, all of a sudden, I look, and there's Artie, and there's Robin, and then there's Howard, and they talk to you for about 45 minutes. It takes a good 30 for your mind to catch up where you. I remember thinking, "What have I been blabbing about?" Like I'm not even hearing the words come out of my mouth. I'm just like looking at what's there. I wish they would have brought me in during commercial break so I could have just said, okay, caught my breath or something. But they bring you on live, which I guess is good because it gets you off your feet a little bit. But I remember thinking when I was leaving, like, I think I'm a better interviewer and broadcaster now, just having spent a few minutes, with him looking me in my eye and talking to me. You can just see what he's doing. And you're like, oh my God, that's the smartest thing. That's how you do it right there.
literally brilliant. I wonder if Howard is aware. I mean, I know but I wonder if he's aware when like someone like you or whoever at the beginning of their career kind of comes in and is just like, you keep it together, but you're like, holy shit, like, what is this?
I hope so. I hope he feels that. I really hope. I think he. I don't know if he can absorb it because if you listen to Howard, he doesn't absorb. He. I don't know that he can really understand it, what he means to all of us. But I do. I love him so much.
Yeah, he's like the gold standard.
Hmm.
Talk to me about, Drag Race. You've been there since season 7. And I mean, is that just a fun job? Like, I think it is.
It's the funnest. It's the most fun. It is. We just try to make each other laugh, but then it's also in the thing that show does is it tells stories that have never been told on TV. And in terms of the human beings that are cast to compete on that show, never been seen like this. And what I love now is the show's been on for 11, 12 years. So these queens that we have on now who are 22 have been watching our show since they were 10. And imagine what people like me could have accomplished if we were watching people like us on television since we were the age of 10. I could have not wasted all that time thinking, do I belong? Do I deserve? Is there a place for me? What can I do with this life? If I could have seen at 10 years old that I could be fabulous, there was no representation for us. So that's what's so exciting now is what it's doing. So simultaneously we are laughing and having the most fun. And I think we're doing something pretty important.
And do you think it's different? Like you mentioned, like when you first started, like on the Today Show, you say you're a Care Bear, it's your words in the beginning. And, yeah, like you were in a way, well, not even in a way, like you were like an anomaly at that time. If you think about it, like how much gay representation, was there really? And then when there was, it was all a certain one type, right? So
I know what you're saying, and I have Bowen Yang from SNL coming up on Hello Ross, and we talk about this because I sent him a little note when he first started, just on in the DMs, saying I'm so happy to see you on the show, and he was so kind in saying that like when he's like 10 years younger than me, so when I was 21 on Leno, when there was nobody like me on television, he watched in his living room, watched, and I remember thinking like, oh my God, I could do it because he's on there, And a lot of people, when they say that to me, it makes me feel so good because I remember that day when they said, do you want to go out and cover this Ocean's 11 premiere? I remember thinking, okay, they're going to laugh at you at first, but just be funny enough that they're laughing with you by the end. So you're not the joke. Don't be the joke. We can all laugh at you, but if you're controlling it, you won't be the joke by the end. Got it? And it was so purposeful to be the representation I didn't have. So it means a lot to me that, you know, the kids that were 10 in their living rooms are now making movies and being on SNL and killing it. Makes me very, very proud.
Did you say when you got asked to do this Ocean's 11 premiere, like, did you say like, you know, maybe butch it up, or like, were you conscious, like, let me try to like gear towards being straight, which is, you know, a different time?
No, that is never a luxury I had, to make the choice to gear towards being straight. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? I it just like, shut up. I would have to not talk or blink to try
Takes
to
one
pass
to
it
know
straight.
one. I mean, I'm sitting
Yeah.
here with my nails just freshly
Yeah.
painted, and like, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. No, people ask, like, did you ever try to stay in the closet? What closet can contain this? It's just, it didn't exist. It doesn't exist. It'll never exist.
Yes and yes. And then did you feel as you were, because like I can't really remember. I mean, I remember watching you, but like, was that a thing back when you were on the Today Show, like just from the public, or was that like something
Yeah.
that you were like, this is going to hinder my career?
Well, yes, I just assumed. You know, you have to remember, there weren't openly gay people. Will and Grace was starting the same time I was there. There weren't people. I just assumed it would affect my career. And I remember going to like pitch TV shows, and heads of networks to my face saying to me, "It's not going to happen. You're way too gay for us." Right? Which now I'd love if they said it to me. Like, I would, because then I'd own that network. Say it to me, please. Let's go. You know, my lawyer is on the speakerphone. Let's do it. But back then, I remember just being like, got it. I understand. You know, and that's the kind of difference that it was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yes, yes. I mean, so do you think, you know, you look at like Ryan Murphy and Pose and everything else, like, where do you think we are? You know, you look at that, but then you look at like a Bros, like, you know, which like, you know, is considered like not a huge success at the box office, even though it's phenomenal. Or like, where are like the gay actors like a Brad Pitt or a George Clooney that, you know, like are carrying like a multi-million-dollar franchise? I mean, I'm not slanting you either way. Like, where do you think we are with all this in Hollywood today?
I think it was in terms of storytelling, I think it's better than it's ever been. You know, we were telling more queer stories under the umbrella of, you know, however you define with LGBTQIA plus, that we're telling more of those stories than ever. And, you know, I would argue when it comes to like a movie like Bros, how you define success, you know what I mean? They're talking monetary success, but the fact that that movie got made and was in mainstream theaters is extraordinary. You know, it's really, truly amazing. And Billy Eichner should be applauded for getting that movie made and told and sold. And so, yeah, just we got to redefine success. The fact that that's out there is success.
You're right. That's a really good way to look at it.
Hmm.
Is there ever been a queen on Drag Race where you're just like, oh, she was robbed, like that person should have won?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us who it is?
No.
I didn't think so.
But yeah, I mean, I don't agree with everything, but I also know that it's not my decision to make. I have input, you know, and there have been